An elderly man with ragged clothes sprawled on the sidewalk, one hand loosely wrapped around a bowl filled with change. A nearby boy nudged his mother, asking for coins to donate, but he only received a dirty look. Ignore him. If he wants money, he can work for it, like us. At 8 years old, my heart ached. Why was there a lack of empathy? Was this woman right? Was his outcome deserved? The man was one of many across the city of Cleveland, lying on the rough, cracked sidewalks with dwindling hope for housing as the skies grew gray and compassion grew scarce. For the 771,480 unhoused Americans, this is the reality of their everyday lives. Instead of receiving understanding or empathy, they're left with scorned looks and ceaseless despair. Yet after further research, my heart panged as I learned that for many homeless Americans, their outcome isn't for a lack of trying. Despite up to 53% of the homeless being employed and 32,000 of them having served our country, homelessness persists. Furthermore, with the rise of anti-homeless infrastructure, a low federal minimum wage, and the Supreme Court's 2024 decision criminalizing sleeping on the ground, the legal policies in place are stacked against them. For many Americans, bias against the homeless isn't due to hate, but rather a lack of awareness about the factors that fuel homelessness. I couldn't entirely eliminate hate against the homeless, but I could treat them with compassion and help advocate against policies that perpetuate homelessness. Consequently, this past summer, I decided to take action as an intern at the Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless. There, I gained a greater sense of knowledge of what's fueling Cleveland's housing crisis, diving into the jargon of subprime loans, gerrymandering, and red-line districts that stop people of color from equitably accessing housing. Obstacles that many boil down to simply not working hard enough. Hearing the stories of how Clevelanders ended up homeless, I couldn't shake the feeling that these were issues entirely solvable through effective policy. Therefore, I cooperated with the team's Direct Action Initiative through compiling people's stories about homelessness and statistics into an art piece that was presented at the annual Cleveland Housing Summit. We concluded by meeting with Representative David Joyce's team, urging him to fight against impending Department of Housing and Urban Development cuts and pleading the case of equitable housing for future generations. When I walk through the streets of Cleveland today, little has changed in the past 8 years. Alleys continue to serve as home for disillusioned Americans, and grassy areas on road cutoffs still host encampments. But internally, my outlook has shifted. I will continue to reach out to local legislators advocating for the homeless, continue to push for compassion, and continue to fight for equity. The homeless man I saw all those years ago had a face devoid of hope, but I pray my actions will help restore light to the eyes of those who have lost it.